Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
So today what I'm going to do is first need to create this overtimes over 6 hours. It should trigger overtime, so that first we need to see whether we have a 41.5 take home. So first let's see that it's already there, but let me reconfirm that and let's see how we are creating that. So I need to look for OT picker. They have already created it, or else we can create it. Yeah, we have what you 1.5, which is a standard pick for, and it has a multiplier rate of 1 to 50. This is what we need. And there's another pick for what you 2.2, which is also created by me, only it is again the standard. Only the multiplier is double clear on this. This and this, these are the two because use the rate of 1.5 at the rate of 2.2, therefore regular. We already have a paper. We already saw that which will be standard, but the rate will be what the multiplier. Yeah, so we have our 3 paid ports. Now the next item we need to see is as per our requirements for Monday to Friday, fastest exercise is regular, right? So 68 hours is over. So first we need to create a overtime for 6 to 8 hours, right? So for that, what we need to do is first we need to have, like this is an important area, we need to go to overtime. So to create a overtime when an employee works more than 6 hours, first we need to create a overtime. Here we have created a working pay code. So to get that overtime, you need to create overtax in this under workflow building blocks. We are going through all these items today. First, we are going through overtax. I'm going to create a overtime state. Or over 6 hours. And this is the name of the game. Looks convenient, right to understand. We need a change in name, or this is fine. So only item we need to do is we are going to start the overtime after 6 hours. So we need to specify overtime starts after 6. That's it. This is the area where we need to be clear. And second item, it should reset every day, because every day after 6 hours, it should trigger overdate, right? So this should be normally new day. Overtime should start after 6 hours and it should reset every day. That's it, clear. This is how we do it. Yeah, so we need to make a note of it. What name is up given? See, we need to map it somewhere else. So this is our overtime. Okay, first one we have created. Similarly, I have already created over 8 hours. So next item we need is 6 to 8. We have created, and then we need one more overtime which is over 8 hours. I have already created over 8 hours. We'll open and show it to you. Yeah, you see here I have already created a over 8 hours daily work. What it does is same thing. There is no change. I have just changed this from 6 to 8 and the reset is again new day here. Okay, just one change which is this to 6. This overtime should trigger after 8 hours. First, overtime will trigger after 6 hours. This will trigger after 8 hours. That's it. Now I need to copy this. Name, here I'll say 1. So we have created both the overtimes. Now what we're going to do is first, let's leave this condition also. Okay, and let's OK. So now this is ready. 6 a boy toss is ready. Now, what we need to do is, now let's keep this condition secondary. Once we create a payroll, then we can map this. Okay, so let's go with the standard condition that every day is, such as regular 68 is 40 and a boy it is 42. We'll come to this condition later once you have created overtime. What then? What you need to do is you need to create up to from majorities to internal round rules. Is one hierarchy above that? One hierarchy we have published above, that is pay for distribution. So we have created what they don't speak, create over times or zones or other items. We need to map that to combination. So the next item and going here is combination rule. So the combination I'm going to choose here is, I'll create a new. Okay, so I'll give some name to this. What is the payroll name we have given Australia, right? The same name I will give for the combination, so I still have to. Here we need to select our over types, whatever we have create. Over 6 hours daily and over 8 hours daily working. These are the two items which we created. Clear what I'm doing. I have selected combination ruling the pay policies here. I have selected the combination rule and clicked on create new, and in that new I have given the name for it here after we've made in everything with the name of our selling it. Okay, and for that. And then I have went in this. This will have all the available overtimes and zones, whichever is created within the system. I need to pick our overtypes what we need. A clear OK for the employees working and student with the particular employees will be applicable for these two overtime. So we are selecting that. Then we will map into the employee later. This is just first creating the configuration. Okay. So now once we selected this, you need to click on this configure combination. So this is pretty much straightforward. What we have here is this is a system asking us over 6 hours daily and over 8 hours a day to overtime. You have, but when these two overlap, how the employee should be paid. You're getting the point when both 6 hours overtime and 8 hours overtime overlap in what the employee should be free. Example, if an employee is working for 9 hours in the fastest, 6 hours will be overtime. Well, a first 6 hours will be regular from the 6 to 8. Overtime 1.5 like 40 over 6. will be triggered and the employee will be paid over to 1.5 as soon as he crosses 8 hours. Both above 8 and above 6 will be there, right? So you're getting my point or confused? Yeah, clear. Once the employee crosses 6 hours, this particular overtime will trigger. Once an employee crosses 8 hours, this overtime will trigger. But when an employee crosses 6 hours, even over 6 hours, also will be applicable to that, right? Because over 8 is always click comes with you, over 6 hours of me, right? So if you don't understand, please ask me, because this is important. What I understood is, like, suppose an employee works for 8 hours continuously, first 6 hours, the system will trigger the regular pay from 6 to 8. The 2 will be the 1.5, and from what we saw beyond the system. Whatever the hours will be working, then this company does, right? No, system doesn't automatically fix it. We need to select because these two overtimes, once an employee crosses 8 hours, both these times will be in the picture. Yes, because we have given a condition that this whole thing starts after 6 hours. This starts after 8 hours. We haven't given anything that this. What I will stop after some time, because any hours over 6 is what I will be there. Any hours over 8, this will be there. So when this over, say, it has getting triggered automatically, this will be. So we need to select when both these overtime comes and under what we need to pay. We need to pay him based on this, right? When he crosses 8 hours. Yeah, when these two comes into picture, we need to choose. Okay, I'm going to pay him over 8 hours. Then that's it. Second is a random item. Here is count towards overtime. So for both these, vote first. Let's see over 6 hours daily so far. So 6 hours daily, what are the pay? Good, that needs to contribute. So regular needs to contribute because for only that this will get triggered. First 6 hours regular. After that will be triggering this overtime, right? Yeah, so whatever the hours employee works in regular, the first standard hours should contribute to this water or else it will be 0. Right? I keep on working regular. If the regular doesn't contribute to this overtime, that we will never meet our 6 hours mark. So we need to choose regular 6. So that means as soon as the employer starts working regular, our counter will start, and once he reaches 6, automatically this overtime will get triggered. Clear? Yes, again, this is actually not trigger because once you have to 6 hours itself, this will get triggered. So over 8 hours daily or type doesn't needs to contribute here. Even if it is, yes, that's fine, but this will not contribute here because 6 hours before this gets triggered itself are 6 hours daily. Whatever, let me come to this one over for this overtime over 8 hours daily overtime. What are the items that needs to contribute? Regular hours needs to be contributed because first is itself regular. And again, we need this particular item also to contribute because for 6 to 8 hours, we are going to pay him through over 6 hours daily over him. So only then this, and this will sum up the 8 hours and the employer will be getting over 8 hours daily overtime. Confused or any doubt? Yes, for this for 6 hours overtime, we no need this because it will never get triggered before this. But for over 8 hours. To trigger, we need 6 hours of regular and then 2 hours of this, and after that we get this figure. So we need to choose both of these to contribute to trigger over 8 hours daily overtime. Okay, so that's it from this place. We have selected the overtime, we have configured the combination, we have chosen how to counter what's overtime. 3 items done. We are saving and returning the combination rule. Then our combination rule is a deer. Once you complete combination rule, then you need to map that combination rule to the above one, that is pay code distribution. Now I'll create a new pay code distribution, again the same name. I will do Australian FT, okay, and here you need to pick our combination rule. We have our combination rule here and just selecting it. Once it's select, automatically this will get populated. Now, here is the area where we will be choosing our pay codes. So as per our requirement, first 6 hours is regular. Over 6 hours is what you 1.5, over 8 hours is OT 2.2 clear. So this select this and pick the pay code is default. Means normal hours, first 6 hours. So for first 6 hours, we need to select that column and click on edit pay codes. And here you need to choose the pay code. I am going to choose our easy. Select here. So I did here say 100, so it will be giving you like an Excel, like frozen color. So default, we are going to pay him regular over 6 hours is what you 1.5, so it is like that color. Click on any pay code. What you 1.5 and 7. Now again I'm going to create over this one. Does it just go to 2.0? I'll pick you up to 2.2 here you. So now clear our system looks like normal for regular, normal as the other. Once he crosses 6 hours, we are going to pay him OT 1.5. Once he crosses 8 hours, we are going to pay him 2.0. Clear on this? Yeah, that's it. We have given a name, we have the combination rule, and we have chosen pay codes for each item. But we have only these 3 items regular over 6 and over 8. That is only we are going to do right now. We are going to want to go with only this condition. So all these 3 items are available in our pay code distribution. We have selected this, we are going to save, and that's it. So we have completed the pay code distribution. So work ruler building block is done fine, no issues as per our requirement. Whatever is needed, we have created that and mapping. So once you've created a pay code distribution, the next item, you need to map it to the top one walk, okay? Take our distribution needs to be mapped to work, so walk through. What you need to do is you need to create a new work rule. Click on new. I no need to select anything, other items will go through later, only item right now. We are concerned about this pay code distribution. We have often here. First, let's give a name of Austrian FT for this also. Yeah, and now we are going to the pay code distribution. The pay code distribution, we need to select our pay code distribution, which is our slant TV, how much you have created. Once you select that, whatever the overtimes you have created will be coming in this drop down. You can see here right over 6 hours on over 8 hours. So only we have created overtimes, nothing else. So whatever the water is you have created, we need to pull it to this side, whatever is required. Just pull it to the side, available to a certain order, to certain orders, clear. Yeah, only that is the activity here and we will save it. That's it. So walk rule is done. We have selected our pay code distribution in work rule and so I did our own. Our port is from the available box. So once that is done, we are going to the last step, that is mapping the work rule to payroll. It's like bottom to top, one by one, really mapping up. Finally, we are coming to payroll. You need to click on new in the cube. Australian FT, again the name, and here also I'm not going to choose anything else, just so I'm going to select default work group, which is Australian FT clear. I'm just selecting that and click on save. That's it. We have created a payroll. Clear what I have done. Sometimes it will be they want to turn it last. Please enter a fact today time that in that place you need to click on update this and click on save on. So let me recap what we have done again and we'll start our testing first. We have created our pay codes in definition. Okay. Once our pay codes are ready, we have created 2 over times 40 over 8 or 6 as daily and over 8 hours daily. Then we have mapped those over things to combination rule. Combination rule again is mapped to pay code distribution. From pay code distribution to work rule to payroll. So overtimes to combination rule. Combination rule to pay code distribution to work rule and work rule to payroll. Mapping is done for everything. We have given the name of Australian FT. We have our payroll here. Now how to test it is, we need to assign this to an employee and then test our configuration. I'll pick an employee. Maybe James, maybe. Yeah, I'll pick this employee. How to assign a payroll is to pick an employee. Usually this happens directly through integrations, but for our testing purpose, just for one employee, if it is a bulk upload, it happens through integration, but for one employee. If you want to assign in this, write the employee, click on people where we saw our personality data, people, and edit. These are multiple items here, right from the first session. What is there? What is so? To assign a payroll, you need to go to the job assignment. Here and in the job assignments, we have option called primary account. Where is it in this primary phone? Will not primary phone. It will be available in the next item, which is timekeeper. In job assignment, there is often timekeeper. In that timekeeper, we will have a special item called payroll. So he's already assigned some other payroll. I'll change it from this month, starting he is into a different our payroll. I'll select our payroll once. Just you pick on it. It will give you a drop down with all the barely. If you want to search, you can search. If you want to sprawl on its problem. But since we have created we have our payroll at the top oscillating FD, I'm going to select from this month. Starting is going to be in our year, first of number. Clear what I'm doing, get an animal. Yes, I'm watching. Yes, just in the selection of like you can people and edit, and then you need to come to the job assignment app, select timekeeper. Timekeeper will have an option of work to select payroll. Here I'm selecting our payroll giving the start of this month just to test it out, and I'm pretty much that's it. So now this implies assigned with our payroll. Now we need to test it whether it works correct. Okay, so now let me go to this time card and after first of this month, whatever the dates available, we can test it there. Okay, let's select fast itself. Let's put punches here. Leave the schedule. Let's put here maybe Saturday the employee comes in at 6 am. and leaves by 8 am and leaves by 2 pm, which is totally 6 hours. You okay? So totally 6 hours. You can see he's getting all the 6 hours as a regular. Clear implies working 6 hours at all. The 6 hours is getting paid as regular. Right? Yeah, so let's increase few more hours and see if the word I'm just extending to maybe 2 through 30, just 30 minutes. And I'll keep on saying is working 6 hours 30 minutes automatically. You can see here I'm blind for 6 hours is getting regular, and after that he's getting 30 minutes of time in there. Yeah, so let's see the next item. Like, let's see, maybe I'll give a minor margin, maybe for 1. 1 minute. I'm just in technique boundary values also, so that the vote I'm 8 hours is getting okay. We have given only 1 minute, more than 8 hours, but you can still see 42 points. It was triggered for that one. First 6 is the regular. Next to us is what you 1.5 and next 1 hour. 1 minute is just for that 1 minute also. It is triggering properly. So we need to do that little bit of boundary testing so that even the minor values, because it's very later writes, they will come out for every penny if there is a mistake. Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah. So we need a little suit the shit out of you. Yeah, then we need to, like, we can reprocess and give it to them, but it will be a huge decision. So we need to check the boundary values properly while testing it. So that's the reason. First I gave full 6 hours. So up to 6 hours you should get 6, and above that you need to get what you 1.5, and once he crosses 2 hours and what you 1.3, which is totally a task, you need to get 2 minutes. So our payroll is fine. It's working correct. Yeah, so we have satisfied this record. Now we need to add this one to our existing payroll. So not to confuse you how this work, I went with a simple condition. Now you have an idea, right, what this does. Yes, now we are going to have a more condition stating that if you see, even for Saturday is getting the same. Now we are going to add a condition that when employee works on Saturday and Sunday, his payment is different. He needs to get some additional benefit. That is, he needs to get first 3 hours as regular. 3 to 6 is what you want by play and Evo, since it's 42.2, or let me make it simple for you, Nina, to go with this much complex. I'll just make it like a bow. 6 above 6 hours, everything is 42.2. Okay, for Saturday, and the first 3 hours is over above. 6 hours is going to be 2.0, clear. Are you okay with this requirement? Any doubts on this? Yeah. So now what we need to do is we already have 42.2. Okay, we already have above 6 hours overtime. Also, we already created this for this purpose, right? Only thing we need to do, oh sorry, about 3 hours extra. About 3 hours should be 42.2. First 3 hours is regular. About 3 hours is 42.2. So first we need to see whether we have an existing overtime. I think I have already created a overtime over 3 hours daily also. But let me see if that is available. So first we need to create the overtime. Over 3 hours. Let me see if I have it. I'll just search it out. Something is available. 3. Okay, there is a overtime called over 3 hours. I will just duplicate it and will create a new one for us. We will give an aim of over 3 hours weekend. Okay, and here similarly we have entered is basically it's about 3 only and it's a new day. It treats us on Urit. So this everything is okay. Just see the overtime how I have created, just given a name, and I'll give on the start time of about 3 hours and reset is on new day. That's it. Okay, I'm going to save on. Now what I need to do is we have created a overtime, but we need to specify right only for Saturday and Sunday. We need to have a special order so far that there is an option called zones where we can pick our days to pay differently about any have zones. This is the one which I am going to choose to create a different payment for Saturday and Sunday, new. I'll give a name like Australia Weekend Zone in this. Now we need to be. What are the days are going to be in this zone? Clear? Yeah, so here you don't need to change anything, just you need to pick Saturday and Sunday. There, like in the zone type, there are multiple types available. What we have chosen here is days of the week. And there are also options called daily shift differential, and that means daily shift differential is to provide a different pay for different shift employees. So for night shift employees, we might give them some additional pay. So for that daily shift differential, no need to look into these items. This is the only item. We need to concern about what time daily that particular zone starts. Maybe we can do 10 p.m. and it ends at 4 am. So night shift employees will come into that zone clear. Yeah, we can choose that particular timing. Daily shift differential means in the daily date we can choose a particular timing and provide them a special pay if they works on that time. This is specifically for nighttime employee, night shift employees, so that they get some additional pay, and we can also achieve our requirement, which is weekend, using weekend differential. Also in weekend differential, we can choose our weekend when our weekend starts. We can start on Saturday 12 am and it's at like Sunday 12 am means Monday 12 am. Right? These 2 days we are going to give you my special pay. We can go by this way out, but I'm taking you through the simple way, which will be quite understandable for you, and we can achieve that days of week also. So I will just pick our days here. We will give a name to it. That's it, clear. On this, our zone type is days of the week and we have picked our days clear. Yeah, I'm giving Saturday and Sunday here. I've given the name of Australia week, and so I'm going to save. And so once you have created zone, now we have created one new overtime and one new zone. Now we need to map those 2 items to our combination. Our combination rule is Australian FD. So now we need to add one of the zone which we have created. One is Australian weekend zone to this side. And the next item is what is the name which we gave for the overtime. It's over 3 hours Saturday, right? Yeah, over 3 hours weekend. Here is all. So we have created 2. Now our combinations will change. So we need to create a new combination. Already we have one item which is over 6 and over 8. We have selected over 8 now. We have few other items available here. Now we need to see how the employees get paid. Now it's asking us if over 3 hours weekend and over 8 hours daily overtime is coming, how an employee should be paid. So for weekend, we are going to pay over 3 hours itself. We are going to pay 42.0. But again, over 8 hours is also 2.0 for daily, right? But in this case, we can pick anyone. Just for the uniformity, I'm going to choose over 3 hours weekend itself because that gets the priority because it's triggering from 3 hours itself. So let's use this working for the whole day of Saturday and Sunday. Again, then another. There is another question over 3 hours and over 6 hours. If both comes together, how the employee should be paid. In this case, you should definitely choose over 3 hours weekend because for over 3 hours weekend, once the employee crosses 3 hours in the weekend or some day, we are going to give him 2.2 hours, but over 6 hours we'll pay him only 1.5. So which gets the highest pay? We need to choose that. Okay, and then we have our weekend zones like Australia weekend zones, and this can be kept like this itself. This is with respect to whatever we have. Zones we can pick anything like. If a weekend zone and over 3 hours comes, it can be paid as anything. So for our uniformity, let's choose our over 3 hours weekend itself and these two 6 hours daily and 8 hours daily overtime. This is not required on our weekends. If it's over 6 hours and over 8 hours daily, OT is not needed for our weekend time. So in this cases, we can use the weekend zone. So just go through the combination of what I have chosen. Please let me know if you have any confusion at out. Here this one, you are clear, right? When 6 hours and 8 hours comes, we need to pick. Similarly, when 3 hours and 8 hours come, we are going to give priority to the weekend because weekend is where we are providing them a special pay. And if you see over 3 hours weekend and over 8 hours daily overtime, both are going to give you the same amount, which is 2.2, but we need it from the third hour itself and both are same amount. So I will go with the 3 hours weekend, but in this area, this is an overtime and this is an overtime, but this over 6 hours overtime pays them in 1.5, but over 3 hours pays them in 2.2. So, and it gets triggered in the third hour itself. So when these two overlaps, these two will overlap only during what is only during our weekend time. So in that time, we need to pay him completely on over 3 hours weekend. And then now you need to choose. When the weekend zone and this comes, we need to pay him through weekend zone itself. Weekend, we are going to pay him. So whenever there is a weekend zone, we need to pick that because weekend zone is that we are going to give him a different pay on that day, clear? Yeah, now let me save and return. Combination rule is done. Now I'm going to map the combination rule to take out distributions. Now you can see we have a default item for. Sorry, we need to first make some changes to the combination. Last item which I picked was wrong. Here, this alone needs to be over 3 hours weekend. Because or else the whole weekend zone will be paid in the same way. There is an option called unique. What it will do is, if you choose unique, you need to directly configure it in pay code distribution. So we will leave these to us like this. I'll give unique so that it's not confusing. So we can directly choose it in the pay code distribution. So if you no need to create any confusion here, these 3 items we know what to pick. This item also we know when we concern and 3 hours comes. You need to keep reference to 3 hours. But these 2 items I am little confused, so I'll just give it as unique so that we can directly go to pay code distribution and pick the codes directly from there itself. Now if you go to the pay code distributions, if you open us, the normal one is already here. But only for these items it's open. Now first what we need to is there is something again wrong with the combination to little bit this. The here also the tick mark should come, but it's not coming. But let's leave it like that first. For we'll select normally on weekdays. If over 3 hours weekend comes, he needs to be paid in regular only rights. Only after 6 hours, we are going to pay him more T. So for the normal days we are going to give him regular. It will come in the next row also, but we'll change the combination later. Okay. This will be by default. It's grayed out. You're not able to select. Whatever we select here, we populate here. We will work on that later. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the default one for first. 2, 3 hours again we are going to give him in beacon. Also we're going to give you this one. What regular us? I'm going to choose that. If you create some mistaken combination rule, it will be evident in this itself. Here is a little bit of understanding. Now you can see our configuration record distribution is not looking correct because by default first 3 hours is regular, fine, but over 3 hours we need to have an option to pick 42 point yellow, right, which is not available right now. Yeah, that means it is saying our combination rule is wrong here because if anything after this we are going to pay what you 2.0, 42.0 or what you 2.22. We are able to pick up these 2 or 2 to us. What did you find? You know, but this is not visible at all. So that means somewhere we have missed out in our combination rule. So what I will do is, if we are confused for this item also, I'll just choose. And over 3 hours weekend and Australia weekend zone comes, I'll choose regular. I mean I will choose unique U. If I choose unique means this option will be enabled. We can pick directly from here. I'll go to the combination. I'll show you what I'm telling you. It will be little confusing. But once we go through another one or two pay rules, you'll get to know what I'm doing changing. So backward distribution is just a combination of like how what we have configured here that promise rows and columns. So if you go to this combination, what now I need to choose is this is the area which is getting grayed out. So what I'm going to do is I'll just give unique so that I can pick it from there itself. Now the second column will be enabled and confused. How? What should get the reality so directly? I'll go there and choose the pay call. I will just click on. And also one more item which we missed out is count towards overtime. We have created one more order which is over 3 hours weekend for this. What are the pay codes that needs to contribute? Australian weekend zone needs to contribute. We need to select these as Notion for these two because this is daily work and for that we can. Weekend zone is not needed, clear this particular area. Count towards over there. If you have any doubt, please let me know. For these two are for Monday to Friday. For that weekend zone should not contribute, so I have just removed it, clear on that. Yeah, because these two does not come for weekends, so I have removed. but for 3 hours we can. But 6 hours and 8 hours daily is not needed, because after 3 hours itself we are going to start the hour overtime if you choose. Yes. Also, it will not create an impact because it is going to trigger before these two. Okay, so it can be yes or no, your choice. Okay, so only thing is you need to remove the weekends on some hour daily, or so that's daily or time is not following that. Yes, so that's it. I will now save and return. Now I'll go to our pay code distribution. Now all the columns would be enabled because I have chosen unique in the combination rule. If I go now both all the columns are in it. So now we can be free to select our papers. Now it looks easy, right? So by default it's regular if it is crossing over 3 hours. I'm going to choose pay code. And we can do it for multiple items also. So now see, for Saturday and Sunday over 3 hours is also 2.0. Over 6 hours is also 2.0, or 8 hours is also 2.0, right? Clear on that. Yes, so we can directly. If you are going to select the same pay code for 3 items, we can directly select all the 3 items and then we can click on edit pay codes. Now we can go here and select our OT 2.2. Place it out here, save and return. Done so, just go through the pay code description now. Now does that make sense? Normal days, regular over 3 hours also is regular normal days. Over 6 hours will be 1.5 and over 8 hours will be 2.0. But on weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday, they are going to get regular hours. For first, 3 and over 3 is 2.0 for whatever the hours. Rest of the hours, it's like 2.0 clear. We have created the pay code distribution. Now we are not going to make any changes to the work rule. Only thing we are going to do is Abby one question. Yeah, question. So, like for the weekend, right? The one condition is, like, the over 3 hours overtime is 2.0 over 3 hours. So let's say if we test this for like 2 hours 59 minutes, then you would be regular pay, right? Yeah, it's only 3 hours and above everything will hit 2.0. Yeah, okay, so now let me save and return on this. And now we have completed pay code distribution. Now I'm going to the work rule. We are not going to make any changes. Only thing I'm going to do is we have created a few new overtimes, right? New overtimes and zones which will be available in this under pay code distribution, which will be available to select. We need to pick that to our boxes. So already we have these two previously selected. Now we have one more overtime in available. I'm just pulling it here now again. If you go here, zones also, we have created one. I need to just pull it here. I'm not going to make any configuration changes here. Just I'm dragging and dropping. What are the things which is available, and I'll click on before saying you need to select a page. This version, same, done. Now our payroll, we are not going to make any change. So this is done. Now we can again test our employee now. Currently, if you see as per our previous configuration, even in the Saturday, by getting 6 hours of regular, then 2 hours of what you want, 0.3, then after 8 hours is getting 42.u. Now we have made changes to Saturday profile. Let's refresh and see. You can see here as soon as we have changed the configuration. Now only first 3 hours is getting paid as regular. Everything else is 42.2 clear. Yeah. So we have come to an understanding. It's actually like I'm pretty much surprised that we have completed a simple payroll in one day itself and we have added condition to it. So the next item I am going to do is I'm going to give you a particular requirement. Okay, you can maybe take a screenshot of it if needed. I'm going to give you a simple. You need to create a simple before you come tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow we will explore the other components, whatever we have been touched, and will add it to the same payroll which we have created today. Okay, so we have a few more conditions with overtime and zones. Now we will explore other items under workflow. Building blocks. We have multiple items, right? So we will explore the other items. Whichever is you see here. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.